So I'm going to be today looking through this bag that I've had actually up for a while. And I've put this one off because it is quite. I think it's got quite a few pieces in it. So actually totally do not remember how this is supposed to go out. So it's a good job I've written notes on it. And I put it off because there were other ones I wanted to do first, and I wanted to save this for when I had a bit more time. So we have here these elements here. So this is one of those pages from, as I've talked about these, when Tashin put out some reproductions of some vintage adverts, and so this is one of those particular adverts. See what's on the other side. So there's that. I've used this image because I've had multiple copies of this book. I've used this image on a piece before, so that's why I didn't mind using this side for that. This guy who is maybe supposed to be Mexican, I'm not sure, but he looks like almost like a Mexican Charles Bronson. So that's to replace Mary's head. So this Mary here, she's obviously losing her head or having it covered over, which is kind of rather interesting, kind of unfortunate looking Mary. I think she's one who's quite a bit too pale for someone for that area of the world, even by those, even by the paintings of these of this era. It's a Da Vinci one as well, but she looks ill and sickly. So anyway, so that guy's going to go over her head over there. The pork and beans is going to go in little young Jesus's lap. Now, the fact that it's pork is in it is completely coincidental because judging by the fact that that Jesus is supposed to be Jewish. So I'm going to write a little note here because this got this little bit here will be left over. So the obvious thing is to put something in that kid's hands because of that look on his face. So put something in hands, and something that put something in that the kid should not be eating. That's another piece in the future, for the future. Right, in the arm. So this monkey is going to be sticking out of Mary's arm. Obviously fold this over so it would fit in the bag. So most of that, but even the bits like that, they won't be useful to me. So I don't envision any use for that, so I'll just put this out of the way. Ready to be recycled, and whatever's left. It should be in the top left, and there aren't any. Oh, here we go. And you've got this fire thing, as I see in the notes there, it's in the window. So through that window here will be the fire thing. So it's actually not as busy as I imagined it to be when I imagined it. So if I try to remember it. So yeah, so it'll be a lot easier. In fact, I've just had another idea though. I might put the I'm going to put this on the bottom left. There you go. And that's if I can. I'm just going to look through the window here. Yep, I can use that on that side and that on that side. So I printed it the exact same thing on the other side, so which that's that's useful. So instead of it being just attached out, I'm going to have something something and something. So that'll make things interesting. But instead of cutting out around here, this is a white background anyway, so I'm just gonna, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna trim it off at the bottom, and this, and straighten this up here. So that's all that, and so we shall in a moment start cutting this up before putting it together. Right, so I'm back, and I'm going to now start cutting all this up to be ready to put together. So, where am I going to start with first? First, I shall my trusty ruler, and I'll trim the bottom off here first. This was original, like I said before, I think I said before that it was originally a painting by Leonardo da Vinci. So, easily in the public domain by this point, so it's unlikely I'll get sued by him. Although I can't remember where this, what book this originally came from. I think it was a book about art, old artwork, classic artworks. So, because I actually put this is from a bag of stuff I put together years ago, a collection. I've basically, as with a previous one that I've mentioned in a video, this is from, I found a bunch of source material in my attic, and there were some books, and obviously, and I found one book where I gathered some bits. What I used to do before I started putting them in these folders like I've been doing recently, I would just put them together and put them in a write notes and put them in a pile, or keep them in a book for safekeeping. I put a lot of these books up in the attic because this room that I'm making it in now was then just a junk room, and if I did any artwork, I did it on a small table in the front room or something. I just gathered, and I had one box that I could keep out of some source material, and I've just recently started taking the room over and bringing more stuff down. I bought, as you've seen in a previous video, I bought a box with an open front so I can put my printer and scanner on top of it, and then just pull stuff out of that when I need to, without having to lift the thing off all the time. So that's become very handy. Fortunately, I can only have one of those because I could stack it, but I don't know where to put the printer and scanner. So, and I've still got that box upstairs, 2 boxes actually upstairs up in the attic. That sometimes I'll bring a book down every now and then, but I really need to use what's down here. But sometimes what's my thinking is what's up there might actually have something I need. So it would be handy to have it all. But then even if I had it all down, the thing that I need may not occur to me, because how I work is unless I've got something specific in mind, I will just go through a book and find something that interests me, and then later on come across something, well, that'll go well with that. And sometimes I'll figure, well, this could do with these little bits to add on. I think I can remember a book that might have something like that, so then that's when that comes into play. But for the most part, it's almost like automatic writing, in the sense that I'm letting it come as it comes, and the inspiration comes to me. So some of it's down to luck, in the fact of what book I pick up and which order I look through things, but some of it's my decision, in the fact of how I'm going to put things. Think, well, this would go well with this, so that's my end of things. And sometimes I will choose, like I said, I will choose a specific book to thinking, well, I need something in this book might be useful for this. So that's all that works. Just reposition my mic so I don't end up bashing on my chin while I'm working, and then all you hear is which is particularly not good if you listen to this with headphones on. This is a bit where I have to be quite careful with the cutting out of this shape. That's why it's handier when they're just square windows, but this does look pretty cool and decorative. So there's a lot of moving stuff about, you know, flipping the image around so I can work with it better. Whoops, I can't cut through that as well as I'd like. And I'm going to use the ruler just to straighten this a touch. So that's quite a bit better. Also trimmed this bit off. Sometimes it's handy also to use the side of the blade there, like that. So that's work there. This is another reason why I'm not going to cut this around here, because I've got this bit here and it's so things flapping about. So the next thing that's going to go is, let's see how this will look. Whether I'll have the fireman or the truck. I think I'll have the fireman. So I can just block that out there. I've still got these to work with, and this still have some images I can use, so I'll put this to one side to go in the spares book. And sometimes it'd be fun just to make a piece purely on from those spare book, seeing what I come up with from that. Because I have a book where it's like just the random spares. Sometimes if it's because I do a lot of anti-war stuff, sometimes where it's military themed stuff, that has gone in a spares on that subject have gone in a specific book on World War II. So I just know all that, but I haven't got the time or the inclination to or space to do things, you know, sort things out really specifically by subject, because sometimes I don't know which page I'm going to use for one thing. Like I said, with my method of doing things, I let it fall, the chips fall as they may, as they say. So that's stuck in, glued there. Ordinarily glue it up afterwards, but that is out of the way. And so I have this here to go on the bottom left. That was dangerous, that nearly went wrong. Another spare. And a spare bit. So it's easy to cut. This was one where I will go to the ruler. And this blade, by the sounds of things, needs changing. You can kind of tell by how it just, you can hear and feel it drag a little more, and it doesn't cut through as well. So let's change this, because I've been doing a fair bit more work. So because I did just change this either earlier on in the week or late last week for something, and it has blunted a bit quicker. See how that cuts through a little more. You can still hear the drag a little, but that's because it's going against a metal ruler. But it's not as bad. There's a bit less effort to cut through it. Getting this lined up properly can be a bit of a trick. just got to remember that's the bottom left. Don't suppose it really matters in which order these go in, but I did write them as such. So what I will do actually is I shall, once I've cut them out, I shall put them in the order that I intend. So when I come to glue it, it will be there ready. And again, this is a pretty good picture. That's a very good picture there, very useful. So these will be kept to go in the spares book. That's those there, those spares. So it'll be interesting if I do a spares task, which we'll do a video of, no doubt, what I could come up with that. And that could be part of the video, going looking through it and seeing what ideas can come up with the time, because usually I come up with the ideas first and don't make a video of me coming up with it, because that can take that could be the long thing that takes the longest time, just flipping through things and trying to get them to see what ideas come. So this could be a little bit of speed challenge in that regard and see what comes out. So this is supposed to be a black thing, so what I'll do is I will draw along the edges there. There's a permanent marker, so that's staying there for good. That doesn't matter. This is coming along nicely. I have the vague notions of what I might call this piece, because from now on I like to try and have a title ready. By the time I finished it, this video, sometimes I have it beforehand, like right now. I'm not 100% sure. This, I'm cutting up there like that, so there's nothing actually be used for this piece, so I shall gather something to hold my little offcuts in, so it makes it easy when I go to pick them up later to put them in the bin. And a bit too small to go in the recycle, really. Now some people like to keep bits like that, and I am keeping actually some offcuts for a piece, but not like this, but it's where I've trimmed off at the edge and they're a certain size to use as a background for a piece that I have in mind. So I've got most of those ready now. I think I've got enough for me to use. I've just got to find the one added element that's going to be the center point to the piece to find, but I won't say what that is just yet. That'd be a bit of a surprise. I will say the fact that this head and this hat is, even if it's not Mexican, it's supposed to be Mexican in the eyes of the ad people. is irrelevant. It's the fact that Mexican is not really supposed to be too much of a commentary. Now, it could be said that if it was actually, then instead of drawing an actual Mexican person, I've drawn somebody like a white person in Mexican, dressed as a Mexican. It's like a case of illustrative brown face. So I think that works quite well on there. It's almost completely cut now. There's the pork and beans. So it's a shame I'll be losing that, but I'm pretty sure I've got some other incidents of this page somewhere. I've lost part of the drum. Is there a French horn? I'm not sure. No, French horns are smaller, but whatever. No, it's a tuba. What am I thinking? I've lost that, but that is. I've got to see if I can find the right image to go along that. It's going to be something that the kids should not be eating. So these cans may have to go. I might have to cut it off at the bottom there because these cans could be used for something else. And also they've got a product. I mean, this has as well. But so this will go in the spare book again. Well, not quite in the spare book. I'll leave it out a bit so I can find the other element. This will maybe a future video. I think of a couple of things I can have for that kid to be eating that they shouldn't. I've just got to find the right sized image to go with it. And I'll keep that as a surprise for everyone. Some beans, pork and beans that can go in the lap. Also helps hide a certain area as well. When these things go in, because I've noticed these classical paintings tend to show bits as in body parts, so and sometimes that can cause a little bit of aggro when it comes to, or cause problems when it comes to displaying them. For suitability reasons. Because of the won't somebody please think of the children types. Because there was pretty sure there was like some kind of campaign to have one somewhere, some kind of very uptight place had for some reason they still were allowed to have the idea of or their, well, not the uptight place, but it's I think some museum or art gallery wanted to show I don't know if it had the original, but or if it was a copy of David statue, and the won't somebody please think of the children types, typical types, were up in arms about it because it shows David's genitalia. So the idea that they were trying to do was to have a towel over it or something, which was ridiculous. It was okay for back then when things really were very controlled morality wise, but that is the American branch of Christianity really that has the biggest problems with things like that. who basically founded America. It was founded by the Puritans initially, so that's why it has such a that kind of standpoint, or you have that kind of flavour of Christianity, has it such a large standing there. So right, so that's the monkey almost cut out, which is the last bit, hopefully. After that, it will be gluing this thing together. Now this bit here is proving to be quite fiddly to get rid of the white bits, so I may have to cheat now. Colour on the sides. So that's all that cut out. So in a moment I'm going to be then gluing all this together. Okay, so now we're going to put this together. I have a gluing pad here. It's not the television one. I think that's become quite too knackered at the back. So, but these here are going to go on last, I think. I'll get the other things in place first. So first I'm going to do I'll glue the monkey down. I'm going to have to do a nick in her arm. I'll cut it from this bit here. And I forgot, I need to colour in this bit here, so that it being white, blatantly white, will just stand out. So I'm going to do a slice down here where her arm is, so then I can just glue this bit of him here. And slot him in. However, nope, he's not going to be the first thing that's going to go on. Foolish of me, I've got to put this face on first. So Mary has to put on her mask. As is always with these kind of things, I spend time cutting out nicely for the window, and in the end it was pointless because it's covered. It's always a way with these things. So now I'll put the monkey. This is great because that eye line there, I think direction this monkey's looking in, looking alarmed at, works really well. And in between the actual cutting and me getting prepared to glue up, I actually came up with the title. I've already written it on the back so that I don't forget these things, because that has happened. Right, let's do the pork and beans. The staple of many a person who doesn't want to, who can't be bothered, who doesn't feel like cooking. Some ways it will have what you need. I mean, like the little processed sausages aren't great. I mean, I don't eat meat, so that's not really a big thing, but you can buy ones with vegetarian or vegan sausages in. So I will sometimes have those, but beans are very good. You know, fibre and protein, so if you want to eat something at a pinch. And now let's see how these are going to work together. I'm thinking maybe trying to go them across the line, but no, that's a bit too much because it obscures too much of the monkey. And there goes my knife on the floor. Pick that up afterwards. as long as I don't step on it. That may not go well for me. So I should have coloured the side there really, but it's too late now. I'll try and get these to match up and try not to get this dirty as well. It's plain white. So have to be careful with how much glue gets on things. And the last bit. Now it's these warning signs and the fire person there that really kind of informed what I was going to, inspired what I was going to do with the title. And I'm just going to sign it here now. So what I plan to do the title, because it's I can reveal now, the title is Incendiary Times. Now when I said that the fact that this guy's a Mexican, or intended to be Mexican, is irrelevant. The fact that he's Mexican specifically is irrelevant. But right now in America you have a unfortunately, as of the recording of this, which is the 24th of, I believe it's 24th of January, America has now a quite far-right administration that is attempting to stoke more of the fires of racism and anti-immigration. So this guy will symbolise that. The scared monkey there is like the pearl clutchers who worry about what people like this are doing to the country. The kind of people who believe the lies about Haitian migrants eating cats and dogs, those kind of lunatics. So that's what they are, and the rest, and obviously these are to show that these beliefs are bad. So the baby Jesus is not to be that hasn't got too much to it, but it could be to symbolize, try and have an appeal to what should be the better parts of our nature, and the pork and beans are just there for fun. They were there. The actual theme came as I was adding these bits, really. So these bits were in there beforehand. So I'm just connecting things together now as I've rationalising it almost. So this is the piece. I'm quite pleased with how this has went. This has gone. So this could be a keeper for the book, I think. That I'm putting together. So there'll be at least a few in there that I've made this year. And as it's taking me time to scan everything in and prepare all the artwork, that maybe end up adding as time goes. So currently the plan is for it to maybe 200. It's either 200, I think it's 220 pages now, maybe. I'll have to check my notes. It's either I'm going to have to make either. I haven't counted up the amount that I've scanned in and listed yet, because I haven't done all that. I've listed it all yet. I've just scanned in, gone through everything that I've made, and say, yeah, that could do that. I could use that. I could use that. And then I'll see if I've either got enough or got too much. If I've got too much, then I'll put some in a bit smaller and more than one on a page. I don't know, or increase the page count. I'm not exactly sure. I don't want to increase the page count too much because I don't want to have to alter the the cover image, because that's done, but I can make it a bit wider if I have to. So, you know, for the sake of because the cover, the front, back cover, and the spine, that's all one image. I can make it wider because it's like a front page image, back page image, and then, you know, the text down the spine. So it's not a one massive image, and that's it's easy enough to alter, but I'd rather not have to if I don't want to, or don't rather not want to if I don't have to. So let me know what you think of this, whether you like it. Like, share, and subscribe. My description has my link tree in it, which has my merch links and my socials. And I shall speak to you soon. Thank you.